What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and build video for the Camp Chef XXL Vertical Pit Smoker. I got this for my birthday this year. I'm really excited to get it set up and check it out. Let's get started. So this thing comes in a pretty hefty box. It's about 175 pounds, I think, ship weight. We're going to get it opened up and see how well it's packed and make sure there's not any damage from shipping, and we'll get all the parts out and all the pieces and get started. Pretty good packing material here. We got some honeycomb fiber cardboard, some foam. That is a huge cooking chamber. I don't know if it comes across on the videos, but that thing is massive. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and remove this door, get it out of the way, because all the good stuff is inside the smoker. We'll have to unload all of that. So these hinges just slide right out on the top there. So you just open it up and pull it up. Give it a little wiggle. There we go. Set it down over here on the workbench so it doesn't get damaged. All right, we got box C. We'll open all of these up once I get everything out and see what all's inside them. It's a lot more packing material. That's good to see. Very protected. Another box here. Box D. Set that over here. Got a box up here. Oop. That thing's heavy. Box E. Oy. That one had some weight to it. It's not easy to do it one-handed. This rectangle box, this is box A. I don't see a box B. Maybe it's in here somewhere. Oh, there's one at the bottom down there. Maybe that's it. All right, so this part, this is the actual hopper, burn chamber, and auger. That thing I know is probably heavy, so I'm gonna set the camera down so I can get that thing out. All right, got that thing out of the way. It's pretty heavy. I mean, you can pick it up by yourself. It's just a little awkward. Got the burn there, the auger there. This is the hopper for all the pellets. All right, let's see what else is in here. Oh, that looks like an ash cup or something. Set that to the side. This out of the way. What else is in here? Some more foam. Another box in the bottom. Oh, it's a big one. Yeah. That one's kind of banged up. There we go. Got that one. There's box B. The one we were missing. All right. The rest is just packing material. All right, so that's everything. I'm going to go ahead and get the smoker out, set it down on a box or something. The first step's going to be putting the legs on the bottom, so we got to leave it laying on its back to do that. So let me get that up where we can get to it, and then I'll pick back up again. All right, so I got the smoker, the body of it out. I just set it on just a plastic tub with that first piece of cardboard we pulled out to keep it from getting scratched up. This will give us good access to the bottom here. Again, it's not super heavy, it's just a little awkward. You can pick it up by yourself. You really want to go over it and make sure there's not any shipping damage. There's a little bit of a wave right there. I don't know if you can see it. A little bit of an impact right there, but that'll be hidden by the hopper. Even inside, there's this smoke trough. I noticed down here it's a little bent. I can just pull that out, I think. But so far, everything looks pretty good. And even if it does have some damage, that Camp Chef's really good with their warranty stuff. They'll get you another one quick. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and unbox all of these boxes and lay out all the contents so we can see what we're working with. I did find this screw stuck in one of the pieces of cardboard, so that's kind of concerning. I hope the hardware package didn't come apart. But I'm going to get everything unboxed, lay it all out, and then we'll go over everything and see what all we got. All right, so I got everything unpacked here. Box A has some interior parts. This is the heat plate. You got the handles, another ash cup, and the actual handle for the door. Box B has all the legs, the instructions, and the hardware bag. Box C has what looks like the sides inside the smoker that holds the racks. So the racks slide into here. Box D over here has the drip tray. This is the ash spade where you can dump the ashes out of the bottom. That's the lid to the hopper. And then box E is all the racks. There's 8 racks in this smoker. It's massive on the inside. And then I've got the hopper and the feeder over there. Now, if you don't have a lot of room like I do and you can't unbox all of these, start with box B. That's going to be your legs, your instructions, your hardware. That's going to be the first one you need. So start with box B and open that one first, and that'll get you started. First thing we've got to do here is get these legs unwrapped, and you want to check these end plates and make sure they're good and straight. Again, things happen in shipping. I mean, they pack it really good, but FedEx, UPS, whoever sends it, they're not so nice with everything, so it could have got banged up a little bit. This one has a slight bow to it. I don't know if you can see that, but it shouldn't be a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and unwrap those. I'm going to get the instruction book out and get the hardware laid out. And then we'll do an inventory on what tools we need, and then we can get started. All right, so I opened up the instruction book, got the legs uncovered. All of the hardware is individually wrapped. I'm assuming in steps. We'll see when we get started. But that's really cool because they've all got numbers on them. I don't know if they mean anything in order or what. You also get the instruction booklet, of course, and a product catalog so you can shop for other things, Camp Chef. And it also had the probes. This smoker has 2 temperature probes built in, and you get some cool stickers, if that's your thing. Right there. All right, so I'm going to collect the tools, and then we'll go over what we need, basic tools and then advanced tools, and then we'll be able to get started. All right, so minimum for this project, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, a good decent sized adjustable wrench, a 10mm box end, and the 2 Allen keys that come with the smoker. These come along with it, so you don't have to worry about finding those. To make this easier and faster, you can do the electric option for the screwdriver, either the socket and ratchet, maybe with an extension, or again, electric option in the drill. And then a longer Phillips screwdriver, because some of the leg screws are hard to get to, so having a longer screwdriver helps. You don't have to have these, but they're going to make it a lot easier. So collect your tools, and then we'll get started. Step number 1 in the instructions is to actually install these legs. And it even says in here, hardware bag number 13. That's going to be the bolts for the nut screws for the legs. And that's going to be this one. So these big black screws, there should be 3 per leg. So I'm going to go ahead and get those installed, and then we'll get it stood up. This step is pretty straightforward. All 4 legs are the same. The locks are the same. They will go in any corner. You don't have to worry about front or back. And they just screw in right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get it started. Another thing that's really helpful is a light of some sort. I have a little magnet light here. You can stick it inside the smoker because it's really dark in there with it all being black, even with the lights we have in the shop. So a nice little flashlight. or a work light that you can stick in here will make it a lot easier. All right, so I got them all started, and I just wanted to show you guys. As you can tell, like, this corner is really easy to get to. This one, not so much. And then the upper one is the same way. So having a variety of screwdrivers, this side's really easy. You can hit it with the drill, but having this longer screwdriver to reach these is going to be beneficial. So I'm going to cinch them all up real quick, and then we'll get it stood up. All right, so we got our upright, got the wheels on. You don't have to cinch them down really strong, but you want to tighten these up because they are the legs. Got all of those tightened up. What's the next step? It's like the next step is going to be to add the stop lock. That's going to be package 42. That's for the ashtray or the ash dump. It's this spade thing that we looked at earlier. So we got to add the stopper to that first. This pack here. So it's going to need one of the Allen keys and the socket. All right, so one more tool, you're going to need an 8mm socket to go along with the 10. So this plate goes just like this on the side, and these shoulder bolts hold it so it can move up and down but still be cinched up. So you use the larger Allen key that come with the smoker and an 8mm ratchet. We're going to get that installed. All right, you want to make sure this moves freely because that's how you're going to release the ash dropper. So that's going to be the next step, is this piece here, this big paddle looking thing. I want to get it unwrapped real quick. Now you're going to want to remove the knob on the end and the little collar that's on the end as well. They both screw on. And then you're going to pass this from the inside of the smoker through the hole here where we put the bracket, and it should lay in that groove just like that. It's not secured, it just lays there. And then on this side you put your collar and your handle back on. And then the way this works is this locks into that collar. I don't know if you can see that on the video. It locks that collar, and then you lift it up to slide the collar out. All right, that one's done. The next step is going to be these deflector brackets. We're going to be using hardware package 11. So that's these guys here. These deflector brackets sit in the bottom of the smoker, and they line up with these holes in the floor. And one thing you have to make sure that you have the little notch forward on both sides. Oh, you can't see that in the lights on my, there we go. So the little notch is forward on both of them. And then you use these screws that come in pack 11. So you have 4 per bracket. We're going to get those put on with a screwdriver. All right, the next few steps are going to be prepping the hopper and burner assembly to be installed. So first things first, comes with a bottle opener, which is in this package here, number 18. We're also going to install the handle on the side, and then we'll get ready to install the actual hopper. One thing you want to notice and be careful of, mine has the gasket already installed right here. You want to make sure that's installed. It's a part of the steps. Mine was already there, so you want to make sure that's already there. All right, so I'm going to grab the stuff and we'll get this set up. The hardware to install this handle has 4 pieces. It has a rubber washer, a big washer, a lock washer, and then the screw. So based on the instructions here, the rubber washer goes between the handle and the actual case of the hopper, and then everything else goes inside: washer, lock, washer, screw. We're gonna get that put on real quick and then we can install it. This next step is going to be hard to film and do at the same time, so I'm going to walk you through it before I start. So the next step is the actual install of the hopper and the feed tube assembly. That's this guy. A couple of things you want to be careful of. When you insert it into the side of the smoker, you have to make sure that this temperature probe goes through the hole in the side and you don't have a lot of extra line sticking out, because this is going to be between, like that, inside the smoker. So you got to make sure that's ready. You also have to have your self-tapper screws ready. That's these guys here. They're really small, but they're important. So the end of the hopper has these slots, and they screw into the little holes that you can barely see right there. There's one there, and there's one there. That's what holds the hopper in place until you can get the larger screws into the main frame of it to hold it securely. So I'm going to set the camera down and get it set up. I won't be able to hold the camera while I'm doing it, so if you have any questions or anything, you can post them down below and I'll try to answer them. But it's pretty straightforward once you get in there. It's just a little bit cumbersome. All right, now one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to cinch these down too tight, because you're going to be running screws through the body of the smoker right here to hold the hopper on. So this is going to move, so you just want to cinch enough to keep it from falling out. You also, when you put this temperature probe through, you got to get the whole plate through that hole. So that's actually going to go up here when we're done. So I'm going to grab the big bolts to do this part, and then we'll get it all cinched up. These are the same screws that you used to put the legs on. They were in the same pack, 13 pack. There should be 4 left over after you do the legs. That's what these are for, it's for the hopper. All right, so we got the 4 big screws in there that hold the hopper. And then we cinch down our self-tappers down there, so this is completely secured. We can go and do the temperature probe next. All right, so this bag had the cover for the probe wire and the self-tappers. So you got 2 self-tappers for the probe bracket and 2 self-tappers for this cover that goes over the hole here. So I'm gonna get those set up real quick, and then that'll be done. All right, so 2 self-tappers holds the probe against the frame. You want to make sure that it doesn't touch up here, that it's nice and free. And then 2 more self-tappers here, and you want to make sure that notch is in the top, just like that. Next, we're going to be installing the lid for the hopper. And I had 2 screws that were in this bag of 8, this 18 bag. We're going to get that set up now. There are 2 holes in the back of the hopper right here. That's where the lid mounts. Next step, we're up to step 16 now, is to install these brackets brackets for the racks. We're going to use the nuts and bolts in this number 10 bag. So you want the nut and the lock washer and a regular washer on the inside, and then the bolt goes through from the outside. And that's going to be these holes here, here, and then down here, and it's on both sides. They're here and here. One thing to know, there's a long side and a short side on these brackets. You see that's the long side and that's the short side. Short side goes up to the top. And the easiest way I've learned how to do this is to go ahead and start your nut bolt combination, but leave it really loose. Then you can just set this in there and hang it on those top two, and then cinch up everything else. So let's get that started. For this step, you're going to want the silver bolts and nuts, the 10mm socket, and the smaller Allen key that comes with the smoker. And once you get these started up here, I don't know how well you can see it, they're just kind of hanging there, so you can take this rack, slide it in, and then just hang it on there, just like that. Now you got your hands free to put the bottom two on and tighten everything up. So I'm going to do that and get the other side done. Alright, I got those cinched up. Again, you don't have to crank them down, just get them tight. They've got a little lock washer thing built into the nut, so they shouldn't come loose. All of those are tightened up, ready to go. See what the next step is. The next item we're going to be doing is the damp vent and the handle for the other side. Now my damper vent's already on there, so we're going to skip that one. We're going to go right to installing this wire handle. That's this guy here. And it's using these last two big black screws that came with the kit. This handle goes into these sleeved screw holes on the damper side of the pit. It's very straightforward, just screw it right on there. There aren't any washers or anything, so you don't have to worry about what order. The next task is going to be installing the heat diverter and the drip tray in the bottom of this. As you can see, mine has a lot of debris in it, so before you go any further, you're going to want to probably vacuum that out and get all the trash out of there, because you don't want styrofoam getting cooked with your smoked foods. So I'm going to grab the vacuum real quick, get that cleaned up, and then we'll set the trays in place. Alright, I got it all cleaned out, all the fuzz and everything out of there. The next step is going to be these plates here. This is the heat diverter, and that's the drip tray. So they come with a little bit of an oil on them in shipping, so they don't rust. You don't have to clean that off, but just be mindful. You may want a paper towel handy, because you're going to get your hands dirty. So this one sets in those grooves in the bottom there, front and back. It kind of locks into place on that bottom tray down there. I don't know if you can really see it. And then the drip tray goes in on top of that. And you got a small lip on this end that hooks into that tray. And then the bigger lip on this end goes into that, and that's the drain. just like that. The final step on the list is going to be installing the latch on the door and the ashtray and the drip pan. Now these hinges on the doors come very loose. You're going to want to snug them just a little bit so that you can still move them around once you get it on there, because you are going to have to adjust this door so it doesn't rub on the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and get that installed, and then we'll put the handle on it. All right, next is going to be the handle for the door. So there's 5 pieces to this. There's the handle, there's the latch, there's the nut, and 2 spring washers. So there's a specific order this has to go on. And it's a bit of a pain to get it that way. So you put the handle in through the outside. You put one of the spring washers, then the latch, then the other spring washer, and then the nut. And you want to use your big adjustable wrench to tighten it up snugly where it still moves, but not so snug that you can't move it. Final step is going to be installing the drip cup, the ash cup, the sausage hooks, and all of these racks, all inside. So real quick, we'll do the outside stuff first. This drip cup hangs underneath, clean out right here. There's a little hook, like that. And that catches all your drippings on the drip tray. It goes into there and down that hole. The next one is the ash cup, and it just twist locks on the bottom here on those pins, just like that. And then we get to put all the racks in. So these mesh racks are for like fish or making jerky, smaller items that will fall through the bars on the bigger racks that we'll see in a minute. So that's what these are for. You get 3 of those racks, and then 4 of the large meat racks for your ribs or your brisket or your chickens or larger chunks of meat here. The last one to go in is this rack here. Now these hooks are designed so you can do sausages or boudin or whatever else you want to hang. I thought about doing like turkey legs hanging off of those too. I think that'll work. So that goes there in the top. And we're done. We got the latch adjusted. The door doesn't rub. The latch locks good and tight. The hopper door's on, everything's connected. That's it. That's how easy it is. In another video soon, I'll be doing first startup and burn in. You got to temper these things and burn off all of the shipping oil and everything. But that'll be for a future video. That's it for today, guys. I really hope that my video has helped you guys with your process of building your smoker. Hopefully it treats you well. You cook some amazing foods. But for now, that's it for me out here in the garage. I'm going to go ahead and close this one down. You guys have a good day and rock on.